Tell him to suit up. I'm bringing the party to you.
I don't see how that's a party.
So, we are going to do something different for the Spanish Grand Prix predictions. Instead of me going on and on with my typical chatter, I have invited some awesome F1 content creators to share their views on this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix. So let's enjoy their thoughts.
So my predictions then for the Spanish Grand Prix, I think it's going to be a classic.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Actually, that's my first lie of the video. I don't think it's going to be a classic. We're going to Spain. Very difficult to overtake at this track. Hasn't produced any really good races in the previous years we've been going there, so I'm not looking for anything spectacular this weekend. So I'll go for, in terms of my predictions then, I'll go for pole position then. Who do I think will get pole position? I'm going to go for Lewis Hamilton on this one. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his 100th pole position in Formula 1, which is just incredible, by the way. Mercedes love this track. They've been dominating this track since actually 2016, funny enough. Dominating qualifying that day, but the race pace, race-wise, they collided with each other. And since then, they've just been unstoppable. And I can't see that form stopping anytime soon. So I'm going to go for Lewis Hamilton for pole position. I'll go for my top three then. I'll go for P3, P2, and P1. So in third place then, I'll start here. I'll go for Lando Norris. Lando Norris has been so good this season. I've been very, very impressed. There was a lot of question marks about over Lando Norris. Is he going to perform against Daniel Ricciardo? So far, he's doing very, very well. Still a long way to go, of course, but you know, he's on his highest points total of his Formula 1 career so far, so that is very, very good in terms of 3 races at least. So this track hasn't really suited the McLaren car in recent years, but McLaren have been so good so far this season. The only team that have both cars scoring every single round so far this season. So let's see if they can continue that and of course get another podium with Lando Norris. In P2, I'm going to go for Max Verstappen. So Verstappen's already got an 8-point deficit over Lewis Hamilton at this stage in the season. And now I would say the Spanish Grand Prix is, if they won the championship, it's going to be a must-win. It's going to be a must-win for Red Bull or Max Verstappen if he wants to keep that championship fight to, you know, keep on going. Because if he does finishes in P2 and Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix, bit of a spoiler there actually, then he's going to have what, a 15-16 point gap, potentially more, if Hamilton gets the fastest lap should he win the Grand Prix. So that's a big gap anyways, and he's 10 points away from being a race win ahead of Max Verstappen already. So Max does need to win this Grand Prix, but like I said, Mercedes have been so good at this track. I can't see their form stopping anytime soon. So Max Verstappen in P2. I do hope we get a close fight. I think Max could win this Grand Prix. He has won it before. Red Bull's car is so much better than what it was last season. They could dominate this weekend. They might be quiet this weekend. I don't know where they're going to be, but he might do well. He might be up there. I hope it is a close fight, but I'm just going to go for Lewis Hamilton as my race winner. Like I said, Mercedes have been so good at this particular Grand Prix. Hamilton will want to try and get as far ahead as he can with Max Verstappen because he knows how good of a challenger Max is going to be. So Lewis Hamilton will want to get everything spot on, everything perfect, like he always does. You know, get as far ahead as Max, as away from Verstappen as he possibly can. Because if he does lose out to Max and Max does win the Grand Prix, Hamilton's like second or third, and then Lewis Hamilton knows he's got a big challenge ahead of him. So Hamilton will want to get as far ahead from Max as he possibly can. So I'm going to go for my top 3 for those drivers: Norris, Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton. I'll finish off then with my driver of the day. Who do I think will get driver of the day? Let's go for Lance Stroll. Let's see how Lance Stroll does. I don't know why. I'm literally just guessing on that one. So I'll go for Lance Stroll. Aston Martin, they've had a poor start of the season, so I'm gonna go for Lance Stroll as my driver of the day. Let's say my predictions are right. And yeah, thank you so much for Raceforce for having me on for this prediction video. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the video.
Hi everyone, I am UpShift or Zaki, and these are some of my predictions for the Spanish Grand Prix of 2021. Thank you for Raceforce1 for having me. So Spain is very similar to Portimao. It has basically the same circuit, the same layout, and it also has the same kind of elevation change. And George Russell's pace in qualifying was very rapid throughout the entire weekend. So, in my first prediction, I believe that George Russell will make it into Q3 this Spanish Grand Prix. My second prediction is that a McLaren will be on the podium, specifically Lando Norris. Sorry to the Aussie fans, but I don't think Daniel Ricciardo will be on the podium anytime soon. He's kind of struggling right now, and I don't think he'll be in a podium. Maybe after Spa, but I don't think he'll be in the podium anytime soon. Well, Lando has shown the pace that he can be up there in the top 3 fighting for a podium, so I believe he'll be on the podium in this Grand Prix. My third and final prediction is that Valtteri Bottas will actually win the Grand Prix. It's a bit bold, but I do believe he has the pace to win the Grand Prix. He did very well in qualifying, and he did well in the race, decently in the first few laps. And again, like I said before, Portimao and Spain have basically the same layout, so I believe Valtteri Bottas will be winning this race. So those are my 3 predictions. Thank you to Race Force 1 for having me, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jordan and Zaki. It's great to have you on the show. Well, I'm going to share my 3 drivers to watch out for: Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Yuki Tsunoda. Thanks for watching and enjoy the race weekend.